Welcome, everybody. Here we are again in our coffee time. 5 p.m. I know I shouldn't be drinking coffee now, but this is my last one because we will need a little bit of energy to go through this beautiful, beautiful topic about how to achieve success abroad through personal leadership. Abroad, personal leadership. What? So, everybody here in the room and people who are going to be watching this later know that what we have in common is that we are not from here. We're international somewhere else, probably most likely in the Netherlands, since this is an event organized via different brands, including the NL Alumni Network, which gathers all the international students and alumni present in the Netherlands, but also people who came to the Netherlands and then went somewhere else around the globe after completing their studies. We have professionals who are already in their career and thinking what's next. And we also have a lot of entrepreneurs that come via the expert pool thinking about how to take their business to the next level. So what we have in common is that we all have to decide a bunch of things and we are all in leadership positions, right? We are all in leadership positions at work, in business, and of course, first of all, in our lives, personal leadership. That's what we're going to be focusing today with our special guest and expert on these topics, Dr. Margarita Lourido. I met her a while ago. We have this in common. We're both from Colombia. We're both living in the Netherlands, not in the same city, otherwise she will be here next to me. But she's really amazing, and I want you to really, listen to her introduction and what we are going to be covering this half an hour of a live Q&A. If you're just tuning in, know that this is live for a reason. We want you to really join the conversation with your questions. If you're going to be watching this later, know that you can still share any questions or comments via our comments, of course. And everybody's welcome, no matter what. If you're a student, if you're a professional, if you're an entrepreneur, just make sure that you grab something nice and join the conversation. So with this little introduction, I'm happy to, welcome Margarita.
Hello, hello.
There you
are.
How
are you?
Matching you ready. Today.
Yeah, I'm ready as well with my coffee is tea. With my
tea. Okay, that's
this,
great.
Coffee break, and as well with the same stripes.
Yeah, we're sharing stripes today. I think it's good to match in that way. Zero intentional. We didn't plan this, so this is a surprise for us, everybody. And yeah, it's nice that apart from stripes and having the same nationality and living in the same country, we have this amazing time to share, to talk about leadership and to talk about success and what is that meaning when you live abroad, when you make that decision, to leave your home country and be somewhere else. So before getting started, a little introduction about yourself. Then we're going to be walking everybody through the questions of what we want to cover today. And of course, all your questions have priority. So as soon as we see something in the comment box, we're going to be able to bring it up to the conversation. So yeah, Margarita, first of all, a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Margarita Lourido. I'm doctor in psychology, coach, and trainer. And I live in the Netherlands, how you just say it. And I'm from Colombia, and as well, I live and work and study in different countries, so all the way international. And I know how this, in some occasions, this can be difficult, especially when you are expected to perform well, when you have the responsibility to have a great performance in your personal life, in your professional life, in your entrepreneurial life. So I know how being abroad is a great opportunity, but in this way, I admire people that decide to go abroad. But at the same time, this opportunity and this life can be a roller coaster. So what I do is to facilitate professionals and entrepreneurs to develop themselves in a personal way, in a professional way, to get the best of this experience abroad.
Yeah, 100% important that regardless of what are you doing at the moment, because for example, now you can be studying or you can be managing a company, or you might be considering finding a job or looking for a job abroad. It's like, first of all, what is that meaning? The fact that we are not from the country we're living, already shows, like a lot of also you as a psychologist know, like it's not for everybody. And for those who are doing it, we basically need this gigantic toolbox where we know how to manage and how to operate and how to run without, getting drained, without, or trying to avoid as much as possible getting any type of toxicity or even burnout, or even avoiding all this, because all of us, and I really like hear you here, we're all overperforming. We're always thinking it's not enough. I'm not good enough. I need to do better. So, we're going to be talking about that, and just as an introduction of this topic, I want to just tell you what are we going to be covering. Like, we have some questions that we're going to be sharing, but also Margarita, you can of course provide us with a little introduction about why this is relevant, why achieving success abroad through personal leadership is important, So first of all, let's talk about why is this important, and then what are we going to be covering today?
Okay, great. One of the things that I said is that your success cannot be greater than the person that you are. And that means that your success is limited to your own limitations. So it is important to work on yourself and in your personal development to achieve the success that you want to achieve, and to just go over those limits, go over the limitations that you can find.
That's really, really, really true, because sometimes you're thinking that what you're doing, your project or your business, is bigger than you. It's like, I'm here because of business, and you let those things define who you are. And many times, just to flip it around or think about how you, or like focusing on your personal development, is the most important thing you need to execute or to perform at any level. So it's really important that you introduce the topic in that way, So today we're going to be talking about these 5 different things. First, how do we define success? What is success, from an international point of view, from what it means to us, when building an international career through entrepreneurship or through finding a job, or combining the two of those, So what is success? What are the difficulties that we normally encounter when we travel abroad, mostly alone as well, to go for this professional career development or to start our company? What are those things that we normally encounter? Why is it necessary to work on personal development in order to be successful? What is that relation or that correlation between personal development and success at any level? What are the skills, that we need to develop in order to build personal leadership? What do you need? Because of course it's not like ta-da. Of course, what do you need to be able to develop your own personal leadership? And in the end, we're going to wrap it up with some advice on how we can help people in this situation. In particular, how Margarita can help you. What are the tips? What are the things that we can really take with us, not only to start this week, but to start this month in the middle of winter and tough times for us as internationals. So yeah, really important to know what we can actually do with all this knowledge and this content that we're going to be sharing, right? So let's get started. Margarita, are we ready? Yes.
Yes. And your first question is about defining success.
Yes.
And the definition is so easy. Success is accomplish what you want to accomplish. So that's why success is so personal, because what you want is different of what other person want. So it's really personal, and not only that, the way to achieve success is as well really personal. The best way to achieve the success that you want is through your talents. And you have your special way to achieve that success in a way that is easier for you. So for your question, what is success? Success is achieving what you want to achieve.
And how do I define that? Because I can say, you know what, I want to run the marathon, for example. And I said, this is what I want to achieve. But right now I'm not even sporting. I'm like standing in front of my laptop, and I may be setting up a huge achievement that it's not possible, and I would just get frustrated, like many people do, and feel when they actually don't have the tools yet to get to that big, goal.
That is a great question, because of course, to be motivated, of course, there are intrinsic motivators and are extrinsic motivators. And that means that When there is something, that goal that is aligned with your true values, with yourself, you're going to feel that desire to do that, to run the marathon, even if it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not aligned with you, if you are trying to impose yourself something that is not aligned with your true goals as a person, maybe you're going to fall in a burnout.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a, you can think about this. Is different going somewhere when something is pulling you, like, oh, I feel that desire, or when you are pushing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There are different movements there, and when you have that desire, you feel that this is the way that you need to go, and you will be happy in this way, and it's going to be in some way easier for you, and maybe you can work those extra hours, and you won't feel that you are making this is the it's not a struggle, but it's an
Mm-hmm.
effort, because
Mm.
it's a little line that we can define or differentiate what is an effort and what is a struggle. When you have this impulse that come from who you are, from your compelling why, from your values, then you're going to do the effort, and you don't feel, even if you're working hard, you won't feel that as a struggle.
Mm-hmm. So it's about what's the direction of that movement. Basically, identifying for yourself what is the real thing that is driving you. You know?
Exactly. It's
Okay.
about self knowledge. It's
Mm-hmm.
about really knowing yourself, and knowing yourself without taking in account the society, without taking in account what your parents said, without taking in account what other people say this is good for you, and
Mm-hmm.
really working from what is really good for you.
Okay. And normally we encounter a lot of difficulties when we are abroad and we are confronted by everything that we know from our home country and everything we now find out that is differently, in a new context, in a new environment. So normally how can we, like what are those difficulties that we normally encounter when we are abroad? And how is that connected to the starting or like going for I want to start an international career, I want to start a new company? What are those difficulties that normally we face as
Yes,
internationals?
this is really great, because when you move to another country, one of the things that happen is that in a way you have to reinvent yourself, because all the reference that you have about yourself are gone. The support group, the network that you have is gone. So it's basically like a white canvas. You have all the space to reinvent yourself, but at the same time it's really difficult. For instance, if you in your own country you were really successful, and you come to the Netherlands and you don't know what is the success criteria that your company is expecting,
Mm-hmm.
so you are not sure anymore how to be a good employee, or you are not sure anymore how create trust as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So it's really important to be able to observe, and to live in a little way like an observer, just to see what other people do. To ask, for instance, it is important to know if you have a manager, if you have somebody else that you can ask. Okay, how these things work in this country, for instance. One of the things that I did when I started being an entrepreneur here in the Netherlands is that I create a mastermind group just
Mm-hmm.
with Dutch entrepreneurs and with a German entrepreneur. So in this place, I could bring my own questions about how you do this in the Netherlands. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really good to be able to have this interaction. And what I said, all the reference that you have are lost. So it is important to create those new reference. And you are when you go abroad, you are experimenting changes not always outside, but as well inside. And the environment is different, the culture is different, the language is different, and you're making a great effort to adjust to all those changes, but inside as well, social cultural adaptation,
Yeah.
is different. You need to behave in another way to be able to function in that society. And at the psychological level, maybe you can have fear, maybe you can have doubts, maybe you can feel the imposter syndrome. That the imposter syndrome is something that when we doubt about our capacities, even if we are having success, we can doubt our capacities. And 75% of the general population feel that once in their lifetime. And this increase in the internationals, the percentage is 85% of the internationals feel this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 100% true, and I'm really curious about it. Also, when you're watching this, video or later on, what is the most, everybody's so different, and how we face a new environment. That is important to know what is the, top difficulty for you. What has been, like even finding local friends, even finding that accountability. What Margarita was saying now, or understanding how society works in a way that you feel that people trust you, especially when you're starting a business or you're looking for a job. How do you generate trust, and what are the references of things in that culture that are associated to gaining that trust, right? So it's really important to also hear what you're thinking, and what so far are the most difficult things that you have faced so far, or even now that you're maybe thinking about going abroad or moving to another country. What are the things that you have experienced so far that you're thinking, wait a moment, this is a bit shaky? So it's important in the end, to go back to yourself and think about personal development. So why is it necessary to work on personal development to be successful? What is the connection between success and personal development?
What I said before is your success is limited by your capacity as a person. Your success are limited by your limitations that you have as a person. So you cannot have a greater success if you don't grow as a person. This is why personal development is important. And as well, because when everything is changing, when you are facing difficult situation, over difficult situation, the way to be stronger is to be aligned with yourself. The way to be stronger is to know yourself, know your talents, know what make you happy, know exactly what is your compelling why are you in the Netherlands, for instance. When you know all these things, you can go through difficult situations and won't overwhelm you. You can
Mm-hmm.
stay focused and you can deal with those situations.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have that issue, especially in business. We think that it's all about the business. It's all about making a business plan, understanding the client needs and everything. And you, as an entrepreneur, you even kick yourself out of that equation. You think that you need to just go for it without thinking about, wait a minute, do I have the skills? Do I have the talents? Do I have the confidence? Am I ready? Am I aware of my weaknesses, my strengths, all of it? Do I have this self-knowledge to know how far I can go with my own business?
Not only that, you can have all the experience, you can have everything. When you have all the tools, you have the experience, you have the tools, you have the knowledge, and still things are not working, is because there is an internal blockage.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that something is stopping you, and it's not the environment, it's not the knowledge, it's not the people around you, it's yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be having a fear of success, for
Mm-hmm.
instance.
Yeah. Or fear
And
of failure, or both.
when you have trouble starting a project, you have fear of failure, and this is 50% of the population have fear of failure. And that
Mm-hmm.
is when you see that is costing you too much to start, you have fear of failure. When you have trouble finishing that project successfully, then you have fear of success.
Okay. It's a good
So this,
definition, because sometimes it's like, what do I have? Because I'm
so
sure we have both experience, like we experience these fears all the time.
and not only that, if you have trouble in the execution of that project, It
Mm-hmm.
means that you have difficulty making a small enough task. When you see a
Mm-hmm.
task that is huge, it's more
Mm-hmm.
difficult to tackle that task. If you see and you have the clarity just to create one small task,
Mm-hmm.
the next step is the only thing that you need to start, or is the only thing that you need to implement something. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you give your next step, then you're going to have the clarity to do the second one and the third and the fourth.
100%. So let's talk a little bit about personal development. We already covered what is it and why is it important when defining success. But now, what about personal leadership? You know, we are right now in a leadership position. If we already took the initiative to live abroad, to start our own company, you know, to be the boss somewhere, or to just have a leadership role. So we're talking about skills. You know, what skills do you need to develop to build that personal leadership? But first of
Mhm.
all, what is personal leadership? And then what are the skills that are going to help you develop that?
I associate personal leadership with the responsibility that you have over yourself. Just
Okay.
knowing that you're the captain of this boat, that
Mm-hmm.
you have that if you want to change something, it's going to start from you. And to be able to take this boat to the destination that you want to take it, it is
Mm-hmm.
important that you could be aware of
Mm-hmm.
yourself, aware of the environment, aware of your responsibilities, to have the self knowledge, as well to, if you don't have the skills, to know that you are flexible enough, or that you can learn those skills to continue growing. So it's about how you're going to develop yourself and how you're going to evolve yourself as a person to get what you want.
Okay. So it's about yourself because sometimes we're thinking about leadership like other people, right? We need to lead other people. We need to lead teams. So it's great to think about leadership from personal perspective, first of
But
all.
you can get that as soon as that you are clear. As soon as that you're clear, what is your purpose? What do you want to do? And when the task is bigger than you, people is going to follow you in an automatic way. People is going to listen to you. People is going to admire what you're doing.
Because you have that clarity for yourself. So what do I need to do to get there? You know, you were thinking about, you know, we were mentioning skills. So what is the skill set to build personal leadership? What do I need to bring to my to my frame of work, basically?
One of the things that I think that is crucial is, for instance, work on your talents.
Mm-hmm.
Discover your talents, because your talents are your instrument to play in life, and you
Mm-hmm.
needed to play it well if you want to have success. I'm going to put one example. For instance, one talent is responsibility, and it's a great talent. If I'm talking about a responsible person, I'm talking about a person that people is going to trust. Is going to This person is going to achieve a lot at work, because uh, people just relate in with this person. But at the same time, uh, even if that person have this great talent to be excellent, at the same time this talent have a dark side. And this dark side is that this person can take maybe a lot of responsibility of task from other people, or they're going to feel guilty if someone don't come with their job done. So they're going to start taking those responsibilities from other people, and at the end of the day, this person maybe can have a burnout. At the end of the day, this person is going to feel guilty about their own performance and the performance of colleagues. So it is really important to know in details what are your talents, because you need to balance those, just to take the good things. And if you don't have that balance, if you don't cannot manage your own talents, then this talent is going to act in a negative way for you. And one of the things that I say to my clients, everything that you hate about yourself,
Mhm.
everything that you say, I don't like this, I always make this same mistake, or something that you don't like about yourself, I say always, this is linked to a great talent that you have.
Mhm. That's a really like a good one because normally you just see it as I don't like this about myself. You don't see it that this is like the shadow version of your talent, right?
Exactly. So
Okay, so talents can be seen as skills, or
in,
is yeah? Because we
uh,
were talking about what are the skills, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so manage your talents.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, knowing your interaction style, at the moment that you know your interaction style, you can communicate better. You can really bring a message that some other people is going to listen to, and you're going to create the impact that you want to create in some other people as well. Everything that have to be with the awareness of what make you happy. So it is important to work on your values. It is important when once you start working about values that you discover how to make decisions that you will never regret.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take one decision, and even if the results are not good results, if you, I ask you again, for taking that decision again, you will take the same decision because was aligned with your values. So you will never regret that decision.
So there are not really wrong decisions when they are aligned with your values.
When are aligned with your values,
That's
because
what you're saying.
those decisions are the ones that make you happy.
Really, really important. Happiness. Because in the end, we can make the smart decisions that make sense for your business, make sense for even having social validation, how good you're doing, all your career abroad or whatever. But what about you? Is this really talking about who you are and what's important for you? So that's really good. And on that note, we can even move to the last part, and it's about advice. Like if I come to you, hey Margarita, something is off, I don't understand, I have my business, I'm doing everything right, but I don't feel good. Something is off. You always feel it internally, something is not really like closing in my head. What advice will you give to people who are in this situation, who are right now kind of struggling between their personal development or their personal leadership, and how is that translated into their success? What is their success right now, and personally, what I mean, professionally, or at business level? How do we get a good balance between your personal development plan and how you are landing that into your next career step or your next business steps?
One of the things that I said is start knowing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
having awareness about who you are, what makes you happy, what are your talents, where are you right now, and where do you want to go. And you have to check, and this is one of the things that I work with my clients, you have to check if your goals are really aligned with you. Because I see as well the end of the tunnel. I see people that being international for 25 years, 20 years or something like that, having success and achieve everything that they want. They are right, and they come to me and they say, uh, I feel empty, I feel anxiety, and what is going on? And then this person realized that those goals were not aligned with themselves. So they were working hard for the wrong goals. And when they achieve those goals, they feel empty. So it's really good to really establish goals, but goals that are aligned with you as a person as well.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
very
what I say,
important. Yeah. Yes, you were saying.
and what I said always is be prepared, and I have this idea of what is maximi and minimi, and it's two versions of yourself. And when you have the resources, the maximi is when you have the resources, when you feel confident, when you have clarity, uh, then you're going to make better decisions, for instance. And I said, what is mini me? Mini me is when you feel that you don't have the resources, when you feel that you're sick, when you feel that you don't have the knowledge. Then maxi
Mm-hmm.
me and mini me, that are two versions of yourself, they're going
Mm-hmm.
to, once they come a trouble, a problem, they are going to react in a different way, and they're going to make different decisions and act in a different way. And who is going to react in the best way? Who is going to respond to that difficult situation in the best way? Maximi. So you need to be in your maximi all the time. And sometimes, yeah, it's going to happen. You will be in your mini me, but you
Mm-hmm.
need to learn to step out of that mini me and go back to your maximi as soon as possible to continue with your path.
That's great. And it's a perfect metaphor to keep in mind, you know, the maximi and the minimi and how do you are connecting and related to other people from which place. Great. Our time is up. Time flies, huh? When you're having fun. It's been like 30 minutes of amazing content, and we know that this is going to be really like helpful for people who are watching this now and later on how we are going to build our community or basically next steps to develop our personal leadership towards success, you know, succeeding abroad. Anything you're dealing with, guys, if you have any issues at professional level or also, you know, by developing your business and thinking how are you sometimes and really often become the obstacle for your own business development, please make sure that you book a one-on-one call with Margarita. We know we cannot cover everything through this live Q&A, so that's why I'm posting right now the link so you can talk to Margarita, book space for her to reply to any of your questions. You know, it's really personal. You know, what are your really like? What is the thing that you're focusing now, or what is the thing that is bringing you troubles? So we want to be there for you, and that's why we create also this one-on-one space. Thank you, Margarita, for also providing this, you know, free space to talk and a safe space to talk apart from this amazing coffee break. And yeah, I wish you and everybody a nice week. Anything else?
Welcome, and thank you very much for the invitation.
Okay, thank you. And for everybody, please have an amazing time, amazing week. This is a month to get things done and to also dive into what we really need to be successful abroad. Okay, this was me, Maria Lucia and Margarita, bringing you amazing content and talking about what is important in the end. Okay, ciao, ciao.